I trimmed my beard and I feel like my face is really small. Hey Spuds, how's it going? Welcome back to another video, your first video, I don't know, but I am Jamie and I'm very happy to have you here. I hope you're gonna enjoy this video. Today we are looking at accidental allies, the allies who are there by complete accident. They don't mean to be allies. We're specifically looking at accidental trans allies, as you may or may not have gathered from the title, depending on what I title this. But what is an accidental ally? An accidental ally is somebody who is actually trying to be homophobic, transphobic, whatever kind of phobic, but by their no choice of their own and through a complete series of not understanding, they are being allies and actually being trans-friendly, etc. Yep, that was an incredibly jumbled definition of an accidental ally. They're allies who don't mean to be. They wanted to be the opposite. It went a bit wrong. Men are not women. Oh, and hashtag I stand with JK Rowling. Oh, and they're wearing that dictionary definition of woman, of like adult human female, in their profile picture. That is like the whole, like, a triple whammy on Earth a double. Well, they're doing it one more and doing a triple whammy. But yes, they are correct. Men are not women. I don't think they meant it in the way it is coming across, but trans women are not men, and trans men are not women. And clearly they understand that because they're saying men are not women. Cool, thank you. Star Elliot Page declares he is a very confused little boy. You're a man and not a woman. Wake up. Oh, I love it. So validating. I really wonder how this occurred. Oh, this is a reply directly to Elliot Page. So I wonder if it was like I'm coming out as trans, and then they just assumed, like a lot of people do, that the only way to be trans is to be a trans woman. And that led to this very wonderful display of accidental allyship. If TikTok puts a coronavirus warning on this, super straight isn't a sexuality. Neither is non-binary. Yeah, neither is non-binary. Non-binary is not a sexuality, thank you. You cannot pick your gender. You cannot pick your race. Only women can give birth. Only men have a chance of developing testicular cancer. If any of the above rings as hateful to you, you are going to have an incredibly tough life when reality catches up with your delusion. Thanks. The accidental ally bit ended at you cannot pick your gender, because that's true. I didn't choose my gender to be man. It just is. Thank you for understanding that. After the only women can give birth, it went downhill. Got a bit wrong. Trans female. Corporate needs you to find the difference between this picture and this picture. Science and nature. They are the same picture. So this one requires a bit of backstory, which I feel that it kind of ruins the moment, doesn't it? It's like when you have to explain a joke, but hopefully it'll be worth it. The trans female refers to trans men, basically. So they're saying that there is no difference between a trans man and a cis woman, according to science and nature. But by saying trans female and not understanding that trans female, trans people and trans allies would read that as a trans woman, they are being accidental allies by saying science and nature say there's no difference between a trans woman and a cis woman. Ta-da! The little mistakes that make people accidental allies. A very quick Google search could have solved it. Although I'm not complaining that they didn't do the research, because then it gives me content and giggles, and hopefully it gives you giggles too. Gender, male, female, normal. Odd, accidentally saying that the only normal way is to be non-binary. I'm assuming that's my interpretation of that. Well, there you go. You heard it here first. A form says it, so it must be true. My face when confused transphobes tried to harass me by saying, I'll never be my assigned gender at birth. Non-binary person. And then imagine if you're non-binary and different transphobes assume that you're a different assigned gender. Also found a TikTok. Not my homophobic grandma making pride hearts because she doesn't know what they are. Oh my gosh, they're like proper pride. That wasn't just a little rainbow that you could say it's just a rainbow, it's not pride. That was like trans and pan and thank you. We love an accidentally supportive grandma. I mean, we don't, we like a supportive grandma, but you know, it's enjoyable to see. Thank you for making those beautiful pieces of pride items. I was going to say merch, but I don't think she's selling them. Maybe she is? I don't know. Well, in the state I live in, a transgender boy can identify as a girl and compete in team sports on a female team. Many other states have approved bills that schools must allow students to use restrooms and locker rooms that coincide with ... See more. Just to correct there, a transgender boy is someone who was assigned female at birth that now identifies as a boy. You mean transgender girl there. Maybe we should make up new names for them instead of using boy and girl. I see the accidental allyship of the whole, like, there's disagreeing with a transgender boy competing in team sports because they misunderstood what a trans boy was compared to a trans girl. But what do they mean by maybe we should make up new names for them instead of using boy and girl? That's why we have the adjective cis and trans. It's just a very simple case of learning which way round you say it. There is no more new names are necessary. Okay, this one is not trans, but I wanted to include it anyway. Thinking about the guy who fully told me if you keep saying you're a lesbian, men won't want to date you. Thanks for confirming something that they want in the first place. If you say you are lesbian, you clearly do not want to date men. So, well done. When my sister asks to borrow my dress versus when my brother asks to borrow my dress, and then there's comments. Lady. Yes, lady. Yep, Summer is a woman. No, she is a man. She can't change her gender. Just listen. She is a man. She. You've already contradicted yourself. I maybe just wouldn't have commented anything here. Yes, my hair has suddenly changed from the last frame. It was annoying me. Is the future female? Yes, 34%. No, 66%. Oh. If trans men can compete in women's sports, the answer is no. Trans men should not be able to compete in women's sports. I should definitely not be able to compete against women in sport. Not that I would be able to even get close to winning even, because, you know, athletes and all that, very good, and I am no athlete. 90% of this is just people not understanding what trans man and trans woman means and which way round it goes, and it's just, I love it. Because there's all these transphobes out there trying to comment shit that's really horrible, and they're accidentally just sounding really like allies. How can you call one person them or they? I swear kids today need to look up definitions of these words they use. Them and they are for multiple people, not just one person. And if you don't know what they prefer to be called, then just call them human, 'cause we all are. They literally just use they and them in a singular way. If you don't know what they prefer to be called, then just call them human. You're talking about an individual, like a hypothetical person whose gender you don't know, so therefore you are using a gender-neutral pronoun, which is very much a singular or plural pronoun. And even people trying to say that it's plural only accidentally end up using it in a singular way. Hashtag trans men are men trend is so disgusting. Imagine a man trying to become a woman. I know, I tried to be a woman, but it just wasn't who I was. Thanks for supporting trans men. The clue is in the name. Why would you... No, I'm so confused. You find the hashtag trans men are men disgusting, but then you get confused thinking that trans men are actually trans women. But then why would you find the hashtag trans men are men disgusting? Because surely, if that's what you believe, that you believe trans men are actually trans women, and you're transphobic and think like a man becoming a woman, as you put it, is not a good thing, then surely trans men are men is a hashtag they would support. How do you get it that wrong? Elephants are not birds. Little boys are not little girls. Little girls are not little boys. I mean, again, true. Little girls aren't little boys and little boys aren't little girls, but like trans girls are girls and trans boys are boys, so that's why that's true, and you're trying to be transphobic, but it's just not working. Also, why specifically elephants are not birds? My son adopted a male dog, neutered him, but that didn't change his gender. Weird. It might just have something to do with the fact that genitals do not dictate gender, and you seem to kind of understand that concept. I appreciate that. That's what trans people have been saying for a long time. Amen. When men were men and women were women, trans men are not women and trans women are not men. That's very aggressive, but you get your point across, thank you. Yes, I'm not a woman and trans women are not men. Appreciate it. Demi's pronouns are they, them, in case you didn't know. Nah, LMAO, they 100% did that for clout, but you're using the correct pronoun for them. How hard did you have to convince yourself you should be mean about this? Men are men, women are women. Men can't be a women. Women can't be a man. The amount of times that people do the plural women when they mean the singular woman. Of course men can't be multiple women. They can't be a woman either. I agree with all of this. What I think people get confused by is trans and cis are just adjectives. Trans men are still men even though they're trans, just like cis men are still men even though they're cis. So when you say things like men are men, men as an overall umbrella and label includes trans men and cis men and any other type of man tall men, blonde men, I don't know, they are included under men. And the same with women. Women includes both trans women and cis women. So things like this is just like, that's accidentally validating for trans people. Because yeah, I'm a man and I can't be a woman. So thank you for understanding. And that's it for today's installment of the Accidental Trans Allies and one accidental lesbian ally. I hope you enjoyed this video. Think about giving it a thumbs up and subscribing if you want to, but no pressure if you don't. And yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Much love. Bye.